Hi there, I'm Simon Hurd, Research Director of Experience Lab in London. We're a group that's been around for about 40 years, so we've been at the front end of a lot of changes in the market. So we were seeing websites when it was very new, we also saw mobile sites when they were very new, and mobile handsets and so on, and also interactive television as well. One of the things that we're seeing at the moment is the rise of gaming platforms and games. A good game will make more money than a Hollywood film, so they're very important, and they're big money makers for companies, so they need to make sure that they're right. They're also engaging a lot of new different people with technology, and it's sort of a field that's trying to break out of its sort of traditional home where it's a young spotty teenage boy in his bedroom playing a game, and just get to more members of the family, because more members of the family is more use is more profit, and so on. So it's been a really interesting area, and we've actually set up the first dedicated team to look at user research for this sector, which is called Playable Games. And we found we did that because traditional usability didn't really work as well, because usability is about making it easier to use. And that's always not what you need for gaming. What you need for gaming is you need engagement. You need people to be at the right level of difficulty and to be involved. So it's all about how humans behave and how they interact with it, but it's a slightly different focus. And we've seen some interesting emerging stuff. Most recently, I'd say it's the emergence of movement sensors on games, rather than interacting with a little handset where everyone knows the button positions and these sorts of things. People are all of a sudden discarding that and waving hands and so on, and trying to interact in a new way. And that creates some real challenges as well. So, for example, how do you pick up a phone, or how do you wave? Some of these things sound very simple, but they do actually have to look at how people behave for real, because children might behave quite differently from adults, and just step back and look at how people are doing these things at a very fundamental level. So we've seen some use of motion capture suits, for example, to track these sorts of things, and really take quite a close look at this. Other things are emerging are about how you measure engagement, because you can do that through the use of technology, and in a similar sort of way that you have seen for eye tracking and so on, but you're also seeing it in other sorts of measures and so on as well. And there's a lot of things out there at the moment, and the market, ourselves in general, are still trying to work out the best way of doing this. And I think we're making some progress at the moment. So what's tending to be happening with engagement is important in other things other than games consoles and so on. We're seeing engagement important in mobile, important in websites and so on. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring back some of these things that we're learning from the games consoles back into the other work that we do as well. One of the challenges of doing this is that there's all sorts of technology that you can use to read facial expression and all sorts of other things, as I say, motion capture suits. You can use other sorts of measures as well, but it's using them appropriately. Because what we've seen is, for example, with eye tracking in the past, you can get all sorts of data, but to use it effectively, you need to think carefully about what you're trying to get out of it, rather than just producing some very fancy-looking heat maps and so on, to be really effective. And it's the same thing with engagement and similar things to that. You need to be quite careful about what you're doing, because you can end up measuring a lot of stuff and crunching through a lot of data and not producing something that's really as important and as useful in the end. So, very interesting area, and thank you very much.